Hey, hello. All right, just doing a quick stream. I don't know if anybody's gonna hop on this one since I'm starting kind of late, but just doing a real quick stream to put my thoughts out there about the new Marvel What If episode. It was an episode about Black Panther becoming Star Lord, T'Challa becoming Star Lord. Um, I liked the original What If. I thought What If was really good. I know some people had some complaints about the animation style. I know some people had some complaints about the way Captain Carter looked in the first episode, but really didn't understand that at all. Thought the animation was very well done. The choreography was great. The action was great. Thought it was nice they brought back Haley Atwell to actually do the voice of Captain Carter. Um, but really, the episode was really well done overall. I thought it was great that they put Steve Rogers into action and let him still have some time to shine, even though when the roles were reversed, uh, Peggy did not have a lot to do. But I understand you kind of want to circumvent potential complaints. Um, so it was off to a good start. This was an interesting premise, but I really don't think episode two was as good. Um, I was really disappointed by this episode. Of course, to the best of my knowledge, this is Chadwick Boseman's last performance. Um, he actually reprises his role as the Black Panther in this Marvel What If episode, but he becomes Star Lord instead. And I feel like everything I thought that was going to go wrong with the first episode happened in this episode. Um, Everyone immediately accepts Black Panther. Everyone thinks he's great. Everyone says only nice things to him. It was what I thought they were going to do with Captain Carter, where she's just immediately accepted. Everything is a cakewalk, and she just has a great life, and nothing bad ever happens. Um, Overall, I don't think the Black Panther character was used very well, and then there weren't a lot of good Star Lord moments used here either. The Guardians of the Galaxy don't show up at all. Um, the character stays only with the Ravagers, and beyond that, there wasn't a lot of humor. It was like a lot of conversational, like forced humor, not legitimate humor from a scenario. Um, a lot of what made Guardians of the Galaxy interesting was gone here. They didn't try to use any of those iconic scenes from Guardians of the Galaxy to go back and try to recontextualize them just like they did with Captain Carter. They just created a whole new story from whole cloth. The Collector. Um, it's great to see Benicio del Toro. He did a great job with his vocal performance, but overall the animation was all over the place. Some of the lip syncing was really good. Some of the lip syncing was off. The color palette and the composition was nowhere near as good as it was last week. It's kind of giving me the idea of the vibe that they just kind of put their best foot forward, gave everybody the best episode first. So overall, not very impressive. Some bigger themes. It seemed like it went on for too long. Like the concept didn't really have enough juice to go for a full episode. And then on top of that, beyond just not having enough juice for a full episode, I just don't think what they did bring up was appropriate for the length. Like there are some guest stars that come in but don't really get a lot to do because they have to leave immediately. And the revelation, the twist of the story that just kind of supposed to challenge T'Challa or shatter his core beliefs, it's resolved as soon as it's brought up. So the impact of that revelation is really lessened. Overall, the pacing was just weird for this episode. Didn't really understand it. It was just weirdly written. Just all around the characters that were involved were weird. Their voices were weird. Like their tone of voice, the way they spoke like they were written characters. They didn't really speak naturally. Um, I just didn't really see what was supposed to be accomplished here. Oh, Orange Shinar. Hey, what's going on, man? How you doing? See, you decided to stop by. So, yeah, Marvel's What If, the first episode, I didn't really see what all the problems were, all the hate was. There was a lot of backlash saying it was the worst thing Marvel ever produced. From an action choreography perspective, it's actually the best thing Marvel's ever produced, at least since Winter Soldier. Oh, you got to see Buried. All right, I'm glad you saw it. I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, Buried is definitely one of those films that was underrated. I think everybody missed Buried. I don't think anyone saw Buried at the time. Um, it just kind of came and went, but it was very well done, very tense film. Matter of fact, let me see who directed. I don't even know what happened to that movie's director. It's like he last made something called Down a Dark Hall in 2018. Rodrigo Cortez, based on a 1974 novel. It is a supernatural horror film. I'm surprised this guy hasn't been brought in to do one of these Conjuring universe films. I feel like he would fit in a lot. Um, yeah. Oh, you missed Robert. Well, Robert Meyer Burnett. His was off. He was pretty late with his stream today, so I understand if you missed that one. He was at a weird time. It wasn't his usual like mid afternoon time. It was like kind of late afternoon. And it was pretty quick. I think he only did like an hour, 30 minutes, hour, 45 minutes, something fast. He was in and out. Um, oh, I was so surprised it's one of the films where you thought you knew. Yeah, that's what I liked about Buried. That's why I wish the director would come back and do something else in the mainstream horror world because, like you're saying, it feels like it's going to be predictable. Like there's going to be this Hollywood ending and everything works out, but the story just goes where it goes. It gives you the information. You try to kind of put the clues together. You try to figure out what's going to happen next. But I mean, at the end of the day, the chips have to fall where they may. So I respected that. I respected that ending. I respected Ryan Reynolds for kind of going outside of his comfort zone and not trying to just be the jokey guy and make something a little bit more serious. Um, Overall, it just the content of the movie, the performances, everything was much darker and much more interesting than you would think just looking at it or just from looking at a trailer or poster. It was great. It was really good. I was surprised, especially for the time. 2010, can't really remember too many good movies from that year. Let me actually go back. I'm going to go to 2010 right now and see if anything good came out in 2010. Let me see. Let me see. Okay, Super came out 2010. That was a good one. Super was really good. Um, yeah. Oh, Inception and Devil. Okay, so Inception was good. Devil was good. The Town was good. There were a few things. Salt came out that year. I like Salt. I don't know. Has anyone seen that Angelina Jolie movie Salt? Have you, Orange Shinar? Have you seen Salt? Have you watched that movie before? With Angelina Jolie? Have you? Did you like it? If you've seen it before? Have you seen Salt or what else came out 2010? Have you seen Salt, The Town, Devil? Have you seen Inception? Oh, 127 hours. I always said I was gonna watch it. I never watched it. Okay, Black Swan, The Grown Ups, or a few things. Oh, I saw The Devil was that year. Predators. Okay, not the worst, but yeah. Okay, haven't seen Inception. Wow. Huh. Have you seen any of Christopher Nolan's other movies? Said you haven't seen Inception. Have you seen like The Prestige or Dark Knight Rises, Batman Begins? Have you seen Interstellar? Anything like that? Have you seen any other Christopher Nolan movies, or you stay away from him overall? Salt, yeah, Salt was okay. I mean, Angelina Jolie action movie, pretty typical. Nothing, too crazy. That's just gonna blow your mind. Just a regular movie, pretty much. Nothing too insane one way or the other. Just casual film. Oh, you saw Dunkirk? Okay, that's the one I haven't seen. That movie. That's the one Christopher Nolan film I haven't seen, but I heard it was pretty good. And then 1917 came out right after it. So I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm honestly kind of tired of World War II movies. Um, I really don't know what else there's to say about World War II. Um, both. I mean, I guess World War One is a little bit less used, which was 1917's turf, but that was also Wonder Woman's turf. So I don't know. The two great wars I feel like have been done to death. Learn from Iwo Jima I thought was good. Um, Saving Private Ryan. I mean, there have been good World War II movies, but I mean, Glorious Bastards, but it's not really a war movie. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of over World War II. I have World War II fatigue. I definitely have World War II movie fatigue. I have no urge to watch war movies. Um, and they're also thematically World War II movies are the same as superhero movies, where you pretty much know what you're gonna get. You get a certain type of character going through a certain kind of an arc, and then there's a predetermined ending. So, just like I'm kind of done with the traditional superhero arc, pretty much done with the World War II movie arc. There's really not too much difference there between those two. It's very tried and true. Same characters from the same directions. There's really no interesting moral twists or wrinkles introduced. You know who's good, you know who's bad, you know who's going to do what when. And it writes itself. Um, it was that or it. Oh, okay. Well, I know you said you don't like horror stuff, so can't blame you for wanting to watch Dunkirk. It was pretty scary. It kept me up. The night I watched it, I stayed up. I had to sleep in my car. I was sleeping in my car and I couldn't really go to sleep. I parked out in front of a really bright diner so I could go to sleep. Like I parked right in front of a diner that had its lights on full blast. And then I went to sleep for probably, I don't know, an hour or two. I couldn't really sleep. It kind of messed with me. Dunkirk probably had more jump scare. I'll have to watch it then. I wouldn't have thought a war film would get any good jump scares in. I mean, it would make sense though. Just sudden changes in the turn of the tide in battle. That makes sense. I can see that. Um, and the sound was amazing. Okay. Uh, I guess I'll have to give Dunkirk a chance. I'll go back. I'll watch Dunkirk. I'll watch 1917. Let me put on my to-do list of movies to watch because I've been putting it off. I never really understood the point. I felt like the theme was played out, but all right, Dunkirk in 1917. Let's to see if they're all streaming anywhere. Let me see, because that's kind of making it hard to watch the other stuff I was supposed to be watching. Let's see. 1917 looks like you have to buy it. Roger Deakins cinematography, okay. And this is what Sam. Okay, so I don't understand. Why didn't Roger Deakins and Sam Mendes get together for Spectre then? If they got right back together after he finished Spectre, why did they not just do Spectre together? Or why didn't Sam Mendes leave? Oh, because he did freaking Blade Runner. Okay, I guess that's fair. Oh, he did Sicario when Spectre came out. He went from Skyfall. Oh, he started working with Denis Villeneuve. Prisoners was very good. Prisoners was great. Sicario, Hail Caesar. Okay, so he was back with the Coen brothers and doing his whole favors and stuff with his homeboy. All right, I guess, but still feel like he could have came and did Spectre real quick, squeeze that in. Wouldn't be that hard. Anyway, Dunkirk, I probably had more jump scares. Sound was amazing. Yeah, Christopher Nolan's very on point with his Foley, with his sound design. Now, I don't know what it is about him and voices, but Bane was so hard to understand in The Dark Knight Rises. Then in Tenet, a lot of characters were hard to understand once we got into the ending. Aaron Taylor Johnson became incomprehensible. Just a lot of weird muffled people talking in mass. It was very strange. The end of Tenet was totally impenetrable. It was just a bunch of weird noises and mourning and like weird fumbling, muffled scribble scrabble noise, staticky stuff. I don't know. But everything else, I mean, his music, he always finds great musical collaborators, and his sound effects always have a lot of punch. He's never afraid of bass, never afraid of those really strong gun effects, gun sounds. I mean, in The Dark Knight Rises at the beginning, there's no blood, but the reason why people getting shot is sold is just strictly based off the sound of the weapons. The casings don't go anywhere. It's just like playing pretend and making the noise with your mouth, but it's very convincing. Nobody ever really stops to comment on the fact there's no blood and no casings in those sequences. Okay, well, you've seen Dunkirk, so what do you have any other war movies you like, Orange Canard? Have you seen anything else? Any war related movies that you like? I know this started off talking about Marvel What If, but Marvel What If is pretty terrible, so I don't want to really dwell on it. Yeah, do you get into Marvel or DC or any science fiction you want to talk about or any war movies? Either one of those? Anything you want to jump into? Hmm. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that I'm not going crazy. So yeah, kind of sick of the World War II stuff. Yeah, I feel like that's one of the biggest. World War II and the Vietnam War are totally oversaturated. There's really nothing else you can do with those stories. There ain't much of nothing else to say about World War II, the Vietnam War. There could be some interesting things to say about World War II if we got into the politics, if we got into the imperialism of the United States during that time, what we were doing in the Philippines, what we were doing in New Guinea and places like that, in the islands in between Australia and Japan, what was happening there. There's some stuff we could talk about World War II, the espionage component that Inglourious Basterds touched on a little bit, but we've never really gotten into too much. I mean, Brad Pitt did it, but it looked really tired. He had that movie Allied, kind of whack. So I never watched it, but it's overdone. Never mind. They don't even have to talk about it. They don't have to go into the stuff we haven't seen before because it's just a played out environment. It's really old. Maybe if they did an alternate World War II and it was zombie. Oh, they already did Overlord. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Overlord did that too. So no, it's over. World War II is officially over. That's been done to death, literally to death with undead creatures in a movie about World War II. So that has been done to death. That horse has been beaten to death and then resurrected. Um, I'd like to see more Native American legend put into modern horror. They did it in It Chapter 2, but I'd like to see it done in the style of Kubrick. Stanley Kubrick does touch on it. Have you seen those theories on the Shining film? Or were you making reference to that? Were you saying that? Is that the point you were kind of getting at? Because Stanley Kubrick does mention some like ancient Indian burial ground curses and stuff. Okay, yeah, you saw that. All right, yeah. So yeah, I think that is interesting. Um, I'm trying to think if they have really delved into Native American. I think you're right because it would be interesting to see something like that, Native American legends and curses, in a story along the lines of The Revenant with DiCaprio, and kind of in a world where we're in the frontier, like you were saying, like in Canada, and we're kind of in these unknown realms, unknown worlds. We don't know what we're seeing. Um, Netflix had an interesting movie kind of like that, where it's a group of guys out in the woods. What was that movie called? And there was a creature there from mythology. What was that movie called? The Woods, or what in the world was that movie called? The Cabin. Uh, what in the world was that movie called? The Ritual. That's what it was. The Ritual. Have you seen The Ritual on Netflix? Okay. Oh, and there's also the Wendigo. Wendigo has been touched on. Oh, okay. You have seen The Ritual. Okay, yeah. I feel like The Ritual does some of that. And there's like the Wendigo character Marvel has that they could kind of touch on it a little bit. Uh, I know I saw you say check out this video here when you get a chance. It's a list of all the monsters. Uh, I don't see the list though. So yeah, drop whatever you want in the chat here. I'll click on it or I'll pull it up later on and watch it. But yeah, let me know in the chat right here what the list is or where the list is. I'll check it out. But yeah, I thought the ritual was really good. The ritual, I think I don't know if you've seen the movie Midsummer, but I think Midsummer thought it was the ritual. Midsummer thought it was being really scary like the ritual was, but it was just really slow and boring. Or the ritual was kind of slower, but it constantly was building up, constantly was picking up weirder and weirder, strange stuff. What did I just see? What was that? What's this over here? I like that the monster blended into the background and kind of fell in and out of the foreground, looked like the environment, looked like the trees. It was very uncomfortable. Huh. Oh yeah, I didn't see the link. I see you said it did not go through. Here's the title of it. Yeah, yeah. Just put the title in the British Columbia Triangle. Okay, let me search it right now. I'll search it on another tab real quick. See if I can find it. Cause I'm always down to look this stuff up. See what else is going on. But if you're not really into horror, why do you want to search that? Why do you want more writers to get into? Okay, I see it. Yeah, by Hammerson Peters. All right, yeah, I found it. It looks like it's by Hammerson Peters. So, why are you interested in seeing the Native American creatures from the myths brought to life? If you're not too much into horror, how do you balance those two? I feel like those are kind of in conflict with each other, or those creatures aren't really scary. They're just kind of a manifestation of natural behaviors or natural disasters, or so. Yeah, I need a little bit of context there. So you don't do much with, you don't really get down with horror, but at the same time, you want to see them more up on screen. Is that just like your one exception? Like you will tolerate horror if it's going to show you some new things, some interesting Native American legends, or um, just a reinvention of modern horror around some new elements and new creatures that people haven't seen before, new ideas people haven't seen before. Okay, so I must learn everything about horror, the shots, the way it's made, all that. I love, hate it. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I want to make film one day, and I think that's something I should learn from. Try to learn it all. Fair, very true. Definitely should try to learn as much as possible out as many different genres as possible. I even watch the OG Trek now, and it's the stories I want to learn. Okay, so then what do you watch from science fiction? Is it just Star Trek you watch on the science fiction side, or do you watch some other programs or other movies? Do you get down with the Neil Blomkamp and the District 9 and Chappie and that side of things, Elysium, that kind of stuff? Did you watch any of that? What kind of science fiction do you like? So you're saying I even watched the OG Trek, so I'm assuming that's not your first choice. If you had your druthers and you could pick any type of science fiction to watch, so what's kind of your preference? Although I agree, you should try to digest as much as possible from as many different places as possible. It's good to keep an open mind, and you never know where you're going to find inspiration. Space 1999, Trek. Obsessed with 2001. We're going to do a deep dive into more girly sci-fi. I didn't know the host was girly sci-fi. The host is the Korean Bong Joon-ho film, correct? I don't think I've ever seen the host. I'm gonna add that. The host, and it to my list too. So when you say Planet of the Apes, are you saying Planet of the Apes, the Mark Wahlberg Planet of the Apes, or which one are you referring to when you say Planet of the Apes from your childhood? Are you going back to like Charlton Heston? Space 1999. I'm not sure I know what that is. Let me search that too. Space 1999. Yes, British. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. I don't think we got it here. Yeah. A British science fiction television show from 75 to 77. Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. We never really got this one. I don't think that one came to America. Okay, no, I saw the old. Okay, so yeah, you were talking about the Charlton Heston. Yeah. But then I don't know what the hate is about the Tim Burton ones. maybe. I mean, Tim Burton one. I never got the really. Was it just the ending and the fact that he comes back and it's kind of like maybe not cyclical, but um, I think it's reminiscent of the original ending. I think it was all right. I thought the makeup effects were great. Maybe they were focused on too much, and maybe trying to make the apes talk kind of broke the uncanny valley. Uh, I thought the animals looked really real. I thought putting people in such great makeup really helped get over the hump of the idea of these apes really talking. Um, I will say it was lit in a very strange way. Like it was over. I would say maybe it was overlit, and you saw too much of the fur, too much of the costume all at once. So I will say that Tim Burton one had like he was too confident in the costumes, and I guess it kind of made it unsettling. I think it would have been more interesting and more atmospheric if he had kept the lighting down or kind of drew lights away from a distance and let shadows cast across the fur, so we can infer some of those textures. Um, yeah, yeah, I can see that. Tim Burton one scared me. Yeah, it was scary, but I thought that was the point. So I agree with you. I thought it was the point to be scary, to be kind of off-putting, and maybe I think the parts that people find scary and off-putting is what drew me to the film because I thought that was the point, that the talking ape was not supposed to be good. So none of the apes really ever got my sympathy. So when Mark Wahlberg was showing up doing his thing, I kind of naturally rooted for him because the creatures just looked so weird. They were in that weird semi-human animal realm, so couldn't really ever connect. Um, do you like any of the new Planet of the Apes stuff? Oh, still need to watch the new trilogy. Okay, I just read that. Um, I thought the new trilogy was cool. I don't think I saw the last one though. Rise of the Planet of the Apes, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. What was the other one? Can't remember. Yeah, the first new one with James Franco was pretty good. I think each one gets better because the one after that was good. But I want to say there's one with Woody Harrelson, and I think I saw the one with Gary Oldman, which I believe is the second one. First and second one. First one James Franco, then the second one Gary Oldman. Um, yeah, I was freaking out when it first came out. Yeah, if you're talking about you were freaking out when it first came out, and you're talking about the Tim Burton one, then yes, I agree. You were 10. Yeah, I was about that age too. I'm not sure how old you are. I'm 28. So I don't know. I don't remember exactly what time when that came out, when that film came out. But I want to say I was around 10, maybe 12. I wasn't super old though, so I do remember. It was uncomfortable, but I really respected it. It made me really look into the costume design. That was the first film that made me really look at costumes, at the textures, at furs and makeup effects, costumers, animatronics, um, prosthetics. That film really got me interested in everything. Oh, you mean the first movie of the new trilogy? Okay, yeah. You're a young whippersnapper. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay. Well, yeah. If you're 22, then yeah. Then the first movie of the new trilogy, it was good. It was good. Well, you were freaking out. Why did it make you freak out then? Was it the special effects, the 3D, or just the concept of some apes running wild and taking over the world? That part was uncomfortable for you, or that part bothered you, or what was it that was had you freaking out? I freaked out about the Tim Burton one based on the makeup effects, and the design, character design, costume design. What had you freaking out about the new ones? And I also thought Andy Serkis was very well cast too. I'm really excited to see his new movie. this new Venom. I didn't know he was even directing it. My excitement level was pretty much dead, and then they announced he was directing it, and my excitement went through the roof. I'm very, but besides 007, it's really the only thing I'm interested in seeing this year. The Suicide Squad hurt my feelings. I had big plans. That was going to be my number one movie of the year. Then it sucked. So now it's down to the new 007, and it's down to Venom 2. I didn't even like Venom 1, but Andy Serkis is directing it, so I'm excited. Um, I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's anything else even coming out 2021. The shot of the leaves falling from the trees in the trailer was the first thing I saw. I remember being like, "Is this what I think?" The new Planet Apes is good. I think it's good to get fear, to kind of have butterflies in your stomach and be nervous when you see a movie and you're like kind of like, what is going on? I think it kind of helps you stay engaged and kind of puts you in the mindset of a real audience member. I think it really primes your mind to be shocked by what you see, by what happens. So that's cool. I think it's awesome to be like, what is this? What's going on here right now? I definitely can respect that. Um, mm, mm, mm. Well, I've been going for a while. It's been 40 minutes. Uh, what are your thoughts about the movie Signs? I just saw a new message pop up. Okay, cool. Signs. You mean the M Night Shyamalan movie Signs? If you're referring to M Night's movie Signs, I thought it was really good. I thought I'm not the number one M Night Shyamalan hater though. Um, so the Sixth Sense, I thought the Sixth Sense was good. Unbreakable, Signs, um, The Village. The Happening was really his only, I would say, his only really trash movie. Lady in the Water was even interesting. Maybe it wasn't the greatest film ever in the history of whatever, but thought it was all right. I honestly did not think that it was that terrible. I thought it was pretty decent. I thought Lady in the Water at least had an interesting story, good cast. Um, oh, shucks, he did The Last Airbender. Okay, that was pretty trash. Yeah, that was Orange. The Airbender was terrible. Happening was terrible. Anyway, back to Signs though. Yes, Signs was great. Mel Gibson was great. I like Joaquin Phoenix. I like the dynamic there. I think that was the first time when I was watching Signs that I ever, because I was really young when I first saw Signs, and I feel like the dynamic between Mel Gibson and Joaquin Phoenix has was the first time on film I felt like two people really related. I think that was really what stuck out to me. I think it's underrated how much that relationship had to work. Mel Gibson has to be off-putting, but then he starts to be interesting. So you're like, well, why is he like this? Why is his son not a fan? Why is he no longer a priest? So I think M. Night Shyamalan did a great job balancing his themes, balancing the plot, and then also getting great performers for that storyline, because that easily could have been just super hokey, super corny if another director had put it together with the exact same material. It could have completely fallen apart, just based on casting and line readings and kind of the chemistry between the performers. So thought that was cool. Um, I guess, I mean, after I reflected back on it and saw people's comments on the plot holes, I guess it is kind of a problem if I'm an alien invading a world that's mostly water to then have a weakness for water. So that wouldn't make sense. That'd be kind of like me going to a planet made, 70% of dangerous 10-foot tall lions. Like, most of the territory is taken over by dangerous 10-foot tall lions, but I could just stay in those parts with no lions and be fine. But the lions move throughout, like there's no guarantee the lions will stay in their territory. So that was kind of a plot hole, a water weakness on an all water planet. Um, but other than that, I mean, everything leading up to that point was great. And I feel like that's the way it is with a lot of M. Night Shyamalan movies. A lot of his movies have great build up, great tension, interesting characters, some pretty decent dialogue, and he can just ratchet up tension, and then lead you to a confrontation. But his final confrontations always end up being anticlimactic. Like Glass's ending was anticlimactic. Like I just said, Signs was anticlimactic. The Happening, the Happening was pretty much an anticlimax from beginning to end. Um, oh, hey, I got somebody else showing up. A Pitts Ben Sanin. Hey, what's going on? Sanin? I don't know how you say it, but thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you stopping by. You show the full design t-shirt. Okay, yeah. I'll just do this. I don't really have to stand up, but it's just it's from A Nightmare on Elm Street. I'll just turn around so you can see the back. Just a second. I'll turn around so you can see the back. But yes, it's just a Nightmare on Elm Street shirt. So yeah. Um I feel like Signs was good. I feel like M. Night Shyamalan overall is a good director. Um what would I'd like to see I honestly would like to see M. Night Shyamalan do a Doctor Strange movie. I thought he would have been a cool choice for Doctor Strange. Um a Daredevil. I think M. Night Shyamalan would be great with Daredevil. He would be interesting to see make a Daredevil story. Um, Score's incredible. Oh, hey man. Oh no, it's fine. I didn't really need to head out. I just didn't know if anybody had any more questions or anything. I didn't want to just drag y'all on as I just talk about random stuff and just keep going and going and going and unborn y'all. But yeah, let me see if I can find where I got this shirt from. I don't know if it still exists, if the shirt still exists, but I know the people who make it still exist. So let's see what's happening here. So yeah, that's where I got the shirt from. Feel free to check it out. Um, but yeah, Orange Canard. Is Signs your favorite M Night movie? Do you have another M Night Shyamalan movie you like, or just Signs, or how do you feel about M Night Shyamalan overall as a director? Oh, okay, Orange Canard, gotcha. Yeah, it's great. Any sci-fi horror. Yeah, there's a lot of good sci-fi horror out there. I'll type it too, so you can always search it later on. But Splice, oh shucks, Splice, with Adrian Brody. I don't know if it's A or an E in his name. Anyway, Adrian Brody, the guy from Predators, Splice, uh, The Cube. Both of those are from the same director. Yeah, it's from 1997. It's a little bit older, but still classic. But Splice and the Cube are from the same director. They're both sci-fi horror. I mean, The Terminator from James Cameron, if you want to count that as sci-fi horror, I would. But, everybody else's mileage may vary on that. I don't know, Jason X. But Jason X is kind of corny. I guess Leprechaun in Space, also kind of dumb. I would say Elysium is kind of a horror, sci-fi horror, kind of like a dystopia. Um, I mean, the Resident Evil movies, as they go further along, kind of get more into that weird sci-fi horror stuff. The movie Life with Ryan Reynolds. Life was kind of a sci-fi horror. Did you ever see Alien, Ridley Scott's Alien, or James Cameron's Aliens? Have you seen those two? Kind of the stalwart, the foundations, the two classics, both kind of legendary in their own right. Ridley Scott came out and did a great job with Alien, and it seemed like it would be undefeated. And then James Cameron put out something just as strong that was even more compelling in some respects with Aliens. More classic performances from a broader variety of actors. Ridley Scott, of course, had Sigourney Weaver, Yvette Koto, Tom Skerritt. Who else was in that movie? There were some memorable actors, but then Sigourney Weaver came back for Aliens. Of course, Bill Paxton was iconic in that movie too, in Aliens, in the second film. I can't think of the actress that performs as Newt, but that character was great, a great conception. So many different, a lot of actors, not as many, I guess, name actors, but a lot of actors had to get their performances just right. Like the exec from Weyland-Yutani, he had to be really slimy. A lot of that movie hinged on performances that made you believe it. To me, I could be wrong, but it seems like the science fiction horror really doesn't work. The science fiction doesn't work. The horror doesn't work. Neither one, will really ever work unless you can hook people on the foundational stuff. I think that's really what matters. You get the characters right. I think that's why people are so attracted to Aliens, because the science fiction and the horror aren't what we connect to. We connect with, blue collar people, truckers, people just trying to make a living that then get screwed over by their bosses. So I think that's a part of it. I would say if your horror is too detached from reality, if the humans in it are too detached from reality, it doesn't work. But as long as your humans make sense and have very relatable motivations, the science fiction can be as crazy as you want, and the horror can be as crazy as you want. But you have to make sure the core characters give us that realistic grounding, that realistic foundation. I've seen Alien, but not all the way through. Never been fully engaged with any of the Alien movies. Oh, okay. That's an interesting point. Okay. Um, actually, it's kind of funny. When I was your age, I actually was not into Alien because I was your age. What was that? I was really excited to see Prometheus. That was 8 years ago. So yeah, I was like your age. When Prometheus first came out in theaters, I was really excited to go see it. But I had never seen the Alien movies like you. I had always just seen different sequences. I had never sat down to watch Alien and Aliens all the way through. But I just kind of forced myself. I went to the video store because here in Texas, video stores existed 8 years ago. They're gone now, though. Anyway, I went to the video store, went and found Alien, went and found Aliens, plugged in the DVDs, sat down, and really tried to focus on it. It was really hard to get through the beginning of Alien. The first maybe even 20, maybe more minutes, 25 minutes of Alien. Took me a while to get into that flow and get patient with Alien. But then it took off and it becomes nonstop. The momentum just picks up exponentially. By the time we're an hour in, You barely feel it anymore. It's crazy. The whole movie just basically lulls you into this false sense of security. Then it totally flips and the momentum shoots off, but it doesn't have that momentum at first. Aliens, Aliens is great from beginning to end. There is no Aliens has no slow start, no caveats, no asterisk or addendum or well, look out for this. Aliens is just a great action horror film, action science fiction horror film. Great performances, great effects. Storyline has a lot of momentum, keeps you focused, keeps you guessing, very tense. So yeah, those first two, Alien and Aliens, are both good for different reasons. Like Ridley Scott went in and designed and drew a lot of his own work for the first Alien movie. Also, a lot of people from Star Wars and Jodorowsky's Dune went over to the Alien movie. So you got a lot of great artists. Moebius is the one that I know the most about. Of course, Giger, H.R. Giger came in and did the design for the creature, the actual xenomorph itself. And Giger is an interesting artist. If you're interested in science fiction and horror, H.R. Giger is a very good person to look into. Robert Eger has another good video. Let me type his name again. Robert Eger, Cognitive Learning, H.R. Giger. So yeah, check out Robert Eger. He did a very interesting video on Giger, looking at his themes, looking at reoccurring motifs and his aesthetics. So yeah, check that out. But I'm trying to think of some science fiction horror that maybe people don't. Oh, Event Horizon with Sam Neill, Lawrence Fishburne. That's a great one. Yeah. Go check out Event Horizon. Go do that. That's Lawrence Fishburne, Sam Neill. Who else is in that movie? I have to think about it, but yeah, Event Horizon. Definitely can't go wrong with that one. That's a pretty crazy one. Of course, Moon. I don't know if you've seen Moon by Duncan Jones. That came out quite a while ago, but got a lot of praise. Sam Rockwell was the lead in that one. I don't know if you ever saw Moon. I believe it's by Duncan Jones, who was going to do really well. He was very promising. Seemed like he, was going to go off and achieve great things. I believe he's David Bowie's son. Anyway, doesn't matter. Point is, he made the World of Warcraft movie and that flopped. But I don't even think the crazy part, I don't really think that World of Warcraft movie really flopped. Let me check. World of Warcraft 2016. I can't even believe it came out in 2016. That's crazy. Let me see. Boop, 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 boop. Duncan Jones is 50 years old. I did not even realize he was that old. That's crazy. So yeah, he is David Bowie's son. Anyway, that doesn't matter. Yes, sure that helped him get started, but that's neither here nor there. Yeah, I mean, him being famous or having a famous father didn't really. I mean, it didn't stop him. He came up with Warcraft and then fell off the map a little bit. Oh no, he popped back up. It's like he did mute. Mute looks like it's on Netflix, maybe, which would explain why I haven't seen it because I never have gone on Netflix looking for anything like that. Hmm. Mm-mm-mm. Okay, he did Mute in 2018, but he's been quiet since then. Rogue Trooper, 2000 AD. Huh. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I didn't know. Oh, I'm not sure if Moon is on Amazon. Let me check. Yeah, Moon is rough too. Moon is like Alien. It takes a while. Look, let me just share this on the internet. I will get in trouble for this, but I don't care. I'm gonna type. I'm actually searching Moon on Amazon right now to see is it on Amazon. Uh, okay. So in America, it is on Showtime, so you have to pay for it. But once you subscribe, you get the little add-on to your Amazon Prime. Then you can watch it. But look, Orange Canard. Look, you're young. Okay, there's a ton of movies out there trying to figure out what movie do I watch? Which one is classic? Which one's not classic? Which ones do I agree with? Which ones do I disagree with? What's good? What's bad? Whose performance is good and trash and blah, blah, blah. Look, it's no shame. It's no shame. It's zero shame. No shame. None at all in fast forwarding through movies. Get your little remote, hit fast forward, and just fast forward through the movie till it's good. Do not let anyone shame you. Fast forwarding through movies is okay. If it's boring, but people have said it's worth checking out, just watch it on fast forward. I've watched a lot of movies on fast forward. The only way I got through Wonder Woman 1984 is because I was at home, I had HBO Max, and I could fast forward. So don't let anyone make you feel embarrassed about fast forwarding. Movies are boring. People want to trap you in their little boring movies. They want to lock you in. And you know what? No. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, boring. It's trash. I watched in the theater first, so I couldn't fast forward it, but the second time, it's trash. Fast forwarded it. Didn't miss anything. Don't feel bad about it. Um, what else have I fast forward? Wonder Woman, that. I feel like I just fast forward something else that was slow. Oh, the Tomorrow War with Chris Pratt. That was terrible. I fast forwarded through it. It was boring. It was going too long. It didn't even make any sense. A lot of these movies suck. You know what? Your life is precious, Orange Canard. Don't let anybody tell you your life is not precious. Don't waste it on stupid movie. If the movie's boring, but you feel like you should just, it's my duty to see this through to the end, just watch it on fast forward. And then if something crazy happens, guess what? Or you feel like you need to understand something better, you can get enough setup. You was on fast forward. You gotta stop, boop, back over to rewind. That's all you gotta do. Boom. That's all it takes. So never be ashamed of the rewind. It's there for a reason. Fast forward is there for a reason. Use them. People think they're making these deep, oh, this is the reason why it's slow is because it represents the slowness of the Earth's tilt and the way it affects the moon and the gravitational pull that it has on Earth and the way it shifts the currents and it shifts his mood and then the way the moon revolves around Earth. No, okay? If all that needs to be explained, you failed. I don't know who wrote that. Oh, maybe Jeff Hill wrote that in the chat yesterday or 2 days ago. And he's right. You got to add all this extra context. You failed. If your movie's boring, it's just boring. These days, you can scroll over the bar at the bottom and see this thing. Yeah, exactly. You're 100% correct. You can also see the scenes by hitting the little scroll bar. It'll pop some stuff up for you. It's not like back in my day we had to go get the little DVD booklet and see where all the breakpoints for each scene were. Yeah, movies are boring. There's nothing wrong with that. Some have atmosphere. Some of them have setup, like maybe Gladiator. What else? Something that's slow but it's good. Gladiator. Mm-mm-mm. No, dang. I'm kind of ruining my own point. The Raid 2. The Raid 2 is kind of slow at the beginning, but it's like a roller coaster. It's just chink, 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 chink. and it goes crazy. It's amazing. So yeah, some people are doing it on purpose to pace things out. Some people are just wasting your time. And the only way you know the difference is when you fast forward. There's nothing wrong with fast forwarding. Enjoy your life. Consume movies the way you want to consume them because that's why they're on streaming. They don't care. The movie's just seen as content. Just put it out there for people to consume. So you consume it a la carte. If you like this scene, if you like this line, if you like this set, like this lighting setup, fast forward to that part. Nicholas Winding Refn had a movie. It was so Neon Demon. Neon Demon. I fast forwarded through Neon Demon because he got me Only God. I did not fast forward through Only God Forgives. And I can't forgive myself for not fast forwarding through Only God Forgives. That was not going to work for me. That made me cry. That movie's terrible. And so was Neon Demon. So yeah, it's slow. They're slow. What can you do? It's not your fault. You didn't call, hey, I like your movies, but I'd like them more if you made them boring and really slow and quiet and just made scenes go on forever with no clear goals or objectives and just turn the camera on and let the actor improvise for about 10, 15 minutes, then move to the next scene. No, don't accept it. Don't accept it because you need to demand they do better. Don't just watch their little trash, midsummer trash like this. Call it trash. Just tell the truth. Tell them it's absolutely garbage. You know, Booty Butter 3000, whatever you need to call it. It's dumpster fire. It's just of no use or purpose. It has no redeeming qualities. And trash. Man, one of the maybe Lars Van Trier. One of his might have gotten me too. I had to hit fast forward. I don't know. I guess I'm not a real film fan. I'm sorry. Yes, I'm fake. I can't tolerate all the movies. I fall asleep. Fell asleep on 2001 twice. What else? I will fall asleep on the movies. If they're boring, I will fall asleep. The new Netflix movie Gunpowder Milkshake, fell asleep because it was taking too long to get to the point, and I thought it was over, and then I looked down, it was only halfway through, so I gave up. I threw my hands up and just went to sleep. I'm actually going to go back to your question about sci-fi horror because I'm kind of frustrated I couldn't think of more examples of that. Oh, Possessor. I never watched Possessor. I forgot to watch that. I need to watch that. Underwater. Hey, Underwater with Kirsten Stewart. That was not that bad. Actually, was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. Underwater was pretty okay. Very predictable, but is what it is. Oh, Predator. Duh. Predator and Annihilation. That was dumb. When I first watched it, I was sleeping, woken up by the Stargate scene. Hey, that's good you fell asleep. There's no shame in falling asleep. Fine. Your brain needs to relax. Neurons need to recollect. They need to get it together. They need time to pause, remember, enjoy your life, replay scenes from its greatest hits tracks all through your central cortex. That's fine. Your brain was just telling you it wasn't worth it. Fell asleep on, yeah, woke up to start. That's good. Oh, I just looked it up too. I forgot. Predator, and Annihilation. Those are two that are worth watching. Predator was good. All the Predator. I like all the Predator movies. Predator 2 seems weirdly racist for some reason, but not really against black people, like against the racial stereotypes of gang members. I don't know. So all the Predator movies are good though. Predator Annihilation was another good sci-fi horror. Annihilation was weird. I feel like it could have been a little bit shorter, but it was so weird. Who cares? It's good to be weird. Um, Bad Taste by Peter Jackson. I don't know if Bad Taste is really science fiction. I guess it kind of is, but maybe it's just horror. But yeah, Bad Taste, all the original Peter Jackson stuff. Bad Taste, Dead Alive, Eat the Feebles. All that stuff is great horror. It's just nonsense. So, man, well, I'm kind of yawning. So, uh, speaking of sleep, I'm gonna call it a day. I guess Orange Canard, if you want to hop in with another comment real quick, feel free. I'll pause here for a second if you want to make a little comment or anything. But all right, good chat. Yeah, it was good. Thanks for coming by. Appreciate you stopping by. Thank you. Anybody else who listens later on, thank you for listening. Feel free to subscribe. I mean, we started off this chat talking about What If episode 2. Anybody wants to hop on and never conversate, get into the chat and talk about something, feel free. But yeah, What If episode 2 was not it. Hopefully episode 3 next week is really good. And oh yeah, and go watch The Cube. Orange Canard makes a good point. If you haven't seen The Cube, if you're out there watching this but you haven't watched Cube, go watch The Cube. Oh, a great sci-fi horror. Pedro Almodovar just made me think about The Skin I Live In, The Skin I'm In. Anyway, Pedro Almodovar with Antonio Banderas. That was a great sci-fi horror. The Skin I'm In, or The Skin I Live In. I think it's a remake of somebody else's movie, but either way, they're both good. So check out The Cube. Check out anything by Pedro Almodovar. And yeah, you guys have a good night. I will see y'all tomorrow.